In this program, we are going to be hearing a bit of what the Guyana Office for Investment has been doing thus far. We will also be looking at the office's role in improving the investment climate in Guyana. Sharing that information with us is no other than Mr. Owen Vorway, the Chief Executive Officer of the Guyana Office for Investment. I am Delicia Haynes. Thank you for joining us. Mr. Vorway, thank you for sitting with us.
Thank you very much for that, and thanks for the opportunity to bring some awareness to the public about Guyana Office for Investment, which we typically call in short as Go Invest. Go Invest has been around since 1994, and the primary objective of Go Invest is for investment promotion, investment facilitation, export promotion, export facilitation, last but not least, advocacy on the part of policies that enhances both export and import for the general development of this economy. Um, Since 1994, this office has been performing that role to some extent significantly, and in more recent time with some declining activities. We've embarked on significant activities since the new government came in to improve the public profile of this agency and the deliverable associated with the objectives of this agency. We are looking significantly at the capacity, being more engaged in focused activities that can bring direct results in keeping with government policies. We're trying to focus to some extent on energy, greener energies, agro-processing, or value-added activities in the economy. Those are the primary focuses that we've had and the areas in which we've been working on in the recent times. Capacity building is something we do have to focus on because the agency has had its fair share of lacking capacity building to deliver its objectives. And if we do want to deliver those objectives, we have to work on those items.
Okay, thank you very much for that. So moving on, could you kindly provide for us an update on the applications that are currently with Go Invest, and would you be able to tell us some of the proposed areas for investment, and moreover, where are these investments coming from?
Okay, that's a good one. We've received investment applications and expressions of interest in several areas. But before I get into that, I must say that on our website, we're doing continuous development. We do plan to make a major overhaul of the website, but we're going to do that in an incremental way. So on the website, there's a lot of resource information, and within that, you'll find an expression of interest form, which someone can complete and submit to this agency, and it forms the first contact with us of your interest in investing in Guyana. Whether it's a proposal of something you're not very sure about or a detailed proposal of something that you're very sure about, that forms part of that. The areas in which we've been receiving applications ranges from energy and everything associated with energy, services related to the oil and gas sector that is evolving in Guyana, agriculture to a very large extent, forestry and value-added or processing, wood processing. We've received a lot of those, light manufacturing, tourism, general services, and information communication and technology. Specifically in information communication technologies, and interest in this market for the call centers, or what they term business process outsourcing. We've had 2 major clients, and we've got others that are interested in this market. That's a pretty good one for us in that it creates a lot of employment, and the market is already well known in the North American and in the industry outside of Guyana, so there is renewed interest in that. Those are the areas of which we've been seeing applications coming, and they've been processing pretty well so far. There was some sloth in how those are being processed, mainly because the processes were changing. We're getting to the bottom of that, and we'll be moving forward.
Okay, so you've mentioned agro-processing as one of the many areas that Go Invest has been placing significant attention on. Can you advise whether there has been any interest in this area? I mean, you said that, but to what magnitude, and what will Go Invest be doing from that point on? I mean, after considering the applicants and all that.
Okay. So again, that's a good one. Agro-processing is very critical in terms of future development of this economy. We are agriculture-based or commodity-based economy. We've got very, very large land mass, arable land too. We've received those expressions of interest to a large extent, very few applications to date. So what that means is that people, there are investors who are interested in the market. They're actually doing either pre-feasibility, feasibility, or they're doing actual business case development before they move forward in that area. We've seen applications from agro-processing from the aquaculture area, right down to the traditional cash crops that Guyana have been producing, the peppers, the cabbages, the leaf vegetables, and those kind of areas. What we would like to see more is a bit of an upscale in the size of the activities that people are interested in. Obviously, that comes with time and that comes with experience. So we will be moving in that direction to get there. What I will highlight is that currently the Caribbean Development Bank, together with the Georgetown Chamber of Commerce and Industry, is completing an a value-added, uh, a competitiveness study on the value-added industry with specific focus on the agro-processing sector. And that will provide significant information for both us, the industry, and finances going forward as to how we should be improving the environment for the players in that industry.
Okay, so if you don't mind me adding, as CEO of GoInvest, what are your expectations after, from the number of investments that have been proposed for agro processing? What are your expectations for the business economy, so to speak?
I think in the next 2 to 3 years, and probably in the fourth year, we should see significant activities in that area. What I will highlight is that there is a need for a bit more marketing and marketing awareness in that area. As you can understand, agro-processing starts from before the land is prepared to when the final product is marketed either on the supermarket shelf or as an industrial food input into the food industry. So that by itself takes time. You're looking at no less than 24 months before you can see activities significantly increase there. So I do think we'll see it there. There's a need for understanding of the marketing and the opportunities out there. There's a need for understanding of the negotiations and for the assistance in the negotiations. And specifically when I mentioned that, it's difficult for farmers to go and double their crop size and triple their crop size without understanding what is the market out there for them. There's no guarantee for them or a framework where they can have a guarantee. That's an important one to answer. And hopefully the competitiveness study that is undergoing will try to highlight some of those concerns and provide solutions to them. In the midst of that, there's a very difficult question to answer. Is all of the farmers ready to go into agro-processing, or should there be a bit of a separation between the two? And that's a decision for the industry to make by themselves.
Okay, so are there any significant foreign investors in this sector, the agro processing sector?
Yeah, we do have one, at least one, that who's very familiar with the Caribbean market. They've got an established brand and they're considering Guyana for relocation or expansion.
About some of the offers and concessions that have been made to investors to encourage them to come and invest more into Guyana's economy.
The In Aid of Investment Act and the Investment Act actually details the type of incentives that are on offer for investments coming into Guyana. Typically, it's the fiscal concessions related to all imports that an investor would have to bring. And I would say that it's capital equipment or capital imports related to the establishment of a new entity or major expansion of a new entity. Those are the customs duties, the import duties, the value-added tax. Those are the primary areas. We've got the other area, which is the tax holiday or some sort of concession related to corporate taxes that entities might have a waiver or some sort of discount on. That's being reviewed, and we'll know where that is going in the future, ensuring that some equity for the economy and some incentives to ensure investments continue to flow towards the Guyana economy. Those are the primary areas that have been offered and continue to be offered to every investor who is looking at the Guyana economy, whether they're domestic or external. What I should highlight is that there's no difference between how we interact and the facilities that are offered to an external investor or a foreign investor versus someone who is local. They're all treated equally.
Okay, that's good to know. So on that note, with these offers and concessions that are made to the investors, are there any promotion activities that GoInvest has to attract these investments and be even bigger ones?
Again, a very good question. As you know, I've been in this position for the last 6 months now, and we're now getting to the point where we are ready to start that roadshow in terms of targeting the Farmers Association, the Chamber of Commerce, the business associations, and the other co-op societies, and all of those that are in the business industry. We've started with some external activities. The government have been to the Canadian market, targeting the diaspora and others. They've been to the US market, in particular in New York, targeting the diaspora and others. GoInvest was directly involved in those activities. Outside of that, senior government officials have been to other economic related activities that attract investors, and the word or the promotional activities have been ongoing there. Beyond that, we've been partaking in routine trade shows and investment promotion activities that has either been offered by the Caribbean Association of Investment Promotion Agencies, those that are linked to the Inter-American Development Bank, and the targeted shows where we've either sent materials and asked our foreign service officers to have a physical presence to ensure there's a promotional activity, or staff from GoInvest have actually attended them directly. The next one that is upcoming is the La Flavors Connect Americas event in Peru at the end of September. We will be attending that event. We will actually be taking promotional materials from companies that exist in Guyana right now and samples of products that are capable of being exported to the South American market.
Would you be able to say if there are any small sectors that that you would suggest that for people to invest in? Because I know agro-processing has its whole big bang, but apart from that, any of the smaller sectors that you would suggest for investment?
I would come back to agriculture as one of those. The processing aspect of it is the second phase, or it's higher up the chain of activities, but the agricultural itself is there. However, we do need to do some work in terms of a collaborative effort between GoInvest, the Ministry of Agriculture, and the other relevant agencies to better understand those markets before we fully advise or encourage investors to invest in areas. One, to guarantee there's some sort of return on their investment, and two, what level of return. The agro-processing is very interesting and very important and very beneficial for the economy, but it feeds on agriculture. There must be that input that needs to feed it. Ensuring that we produce the right varieties that are being demanded and that could give you the highest yields and the highest returns. And those are the areas that we hope to understand when we do the value chain analysis and when we do other related work for the agro-processing sector.
Okay, so what would you be able to say is the next big thing that GoInvest is undertaking right now?
GoInvest is undertaking what has not been done in many, many years, possibly from the inception of GoInvest, which is a national investment promotion strategy, a national export promotion strategy. And I would highlight it's national, it's not just an export promotion strategy, and a strategy for GoInvest together with a capacity building plan for GoInvest. That is the important part that is needed and that has been missing in the strategic direction that has been given or can be given to the organization for implementation of any policies. Understanding what is it we're going after and why are we going after it, how is it linked to other national economic objectives and government priorities. That activity is being funded by the Inter-American Development Bank, and it should be going just to the end of mid to the end of November. That should get started. It should have been started in September. There are some delays, but we will be starting that to the middle to the end of November.
Okay, so is GoInvest, I'm just adding this question here, is GoInvest in any way working along with the small businesses or the manufacturing association, the Guyana Manufacturing Association, to push for more local exports? Is there any collaboration along that line?
Yes, there is. That's a continuous weekly activity that occurs. Every time there is some sort of trade opportunity, that is shared with every single entity or non-governmental entity or a grouping that exists in the economy, from the Chamber of Commerce and especially the Guyana Manufacturing and Services Association. Once there is an opportunity, it is shared with them from the inception, ensuring that they can view those opportunities and have the first go at them.
Okay.
So that's a continuous activity that is ongoing.
All right. Okay, so is there anything else that Go Invest is doing that you would like to share with the public?
Go investors here. What I will say for the public to understand and be confident in is that within Go Invest, there's confidentiality. Whatever information comes to this agency, there's an increased level of awareness of the need for urgency and the timeliness of turning around information for people, especially for our business purpose. There is there's an improved level of service that is provided. There's fairness that is being treated to every single applicant that comes into to this office. And I think there should be lots of confidence returning to the investors or anyone who is considering investing in the Guyana economy to come to this office and let us assist you in one way or the other, whether it's directly with a concession or providing advices to the relevant organization or agency that can assist you in getting your investment done smoothly.
What can they expect the how can they expect the um, investment climate in Guyana to be like in about, let's say, by 2020?
The investment climate in 2020, from projecting it from now, I do believe and I do have the confidence that that's been improving. There's the recent Doing Business Index, which have highlighted several concern items. The Ministry of Business has actually had a task force assigned, and they're identifying all of the items that can be addressed and the time frame by which those items should be addressed. By 2020, I'm pretty sure that will be addressed. Secondly, the Ministry of Business has now produced its strategic plan, which provides guidance to Go Invest as an agency under the Ministry of Business. And it provides guidance to the wider macro economy in understanding where do we want to take business between now and 2020. So I have significant confidence in saying that there will be significant improvement. We're working towards that. We're open and collaborative. And we would encourage anyone to have that confidence in coming towards us in the same manner.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Rowley.
Thank you very much, Dacia.